pretty swamp, Messa.
The Irrational, next Monday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
I'm not the monster you think I am.
We have a missing 19-year-old. You want more food? You want your book? Focus on the case.
Gabrielle, forgetting something.
Found Tuesday on NBC.
On behalf of the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce, we'd like to welcome our newest partners. We'd like to encourage you to support all of our partners at the Bowling Green Area Chamber of Commerce.
Good evening, I'm Chris Allen. Welcome to News 40 at 10. We've gotten rid of the rain. It's now east of us, as you see on radar. Now we're seeing the clearing taking place from west to east. And given time, the skies are going to open up and we're going to see a very chilly night. In fact, all these purple shaded counties, including Bowling Green, freeze warning tonight through tomorrow morning early, as we're expecting our first hard freeze of this season. So get ready for it, because here it comes tonight. Down to 27 for an overnight low with that freeze warning in effect. Clearing and cold, even a north wind at 6. I'll tell you the rest of the 7-day forecast coming up.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 at 10. I'm Morgan Hoover. Our top story tonight: the man accused of killing a Bowling Green woman appeared in court today, but it seems his next court appearance has been pushed back. David Prophet, seen here entering the courtroom with his attorneys this morning, is charged with strangulation, abuse of a corpse, and theft of an automobile, along with a few other charges. He's accused of killing 22-year-old Alexandra Hemman in August of this year. Grisly details of the murder were unveiled during a preliminary hearing. Today, prosecutors say more discovery has been made. The next court date will be in February of next year. Well, Halloween is practically here. Kids are grabbing those costumes and getting ready to run from house to house, but they need to be aware of the dangers that could be on the roadways. If you are of legal age to consume alcohol, Kentucky State Police are encouraging everyone to consume responsibly and do not drive under the influence. You may think that you may only be arrested or charged for 0.08 blood alcohol content, but you can actually be charged for much less.
The only real easy way to do that, to make sure that everything's okay, is if you consume alcohol, don't drive. If you consume drugs, don't drive. And it's as simple as that. Just make sure that you're not putting anybody else in danger, especially this time of year when you're going to have so many kids out on the roadway. Don't take the chance.
There are many forms of transportation you can use to avoid receiving a DUI. There are ride-sharing apps, or you could simply call a friend if you decide to have a little fun for the holiday. Well, another potential risk for your kids this Halloween: tainted candy. Some candies that look similar to the real thing can actually contain THC, Delta 8, or Delta 9 drugs. If you suspect your child's candy has these substances, make sure to contact the Warren County Drug Task Force. If your child is exposed, call 911 or Poison Control. The most important thing you can do is check the candy to make sure it's okay to eat.
Many times these candies will look like gummy bears or other children's candy. And with Halloween coming up tomorrow, parents just need to be careful and make sure the gummy bear is in fact a gummy bear.
It can take various amounts of time for different drugs to set in and take effect. So it's important to remember, if your child happens to eat these candies, call 911 or Poison Control immediately. Well, the Warren County Public Library is using the spooky holiday to teach kids about different traditions throughout different cultures. This week, the library is clearing up some misconceptions when it comes to the Day of the Dead holiday. While hosting a celebration, the staff really wanted to educate the children on traditions that take place in Mexican culture, especially during this holiday. They do this by teaching the kids about different flowers, the traditional songs, and so much more.
They loved it. They had so much fun, especially when we broke the piñata and we were all singing the song. I got to have the blindfold on. I know it's not something that they do traditionally when they're growing up, so it's really out of their comfort zone. They probably see videos of it, and so to be able to experience that, I bet it was so surreal for them to be like, oh my gosh, I get to break this piñata and sing this song and do all these cool things.
The celebration is not stopping here. On November 1st, the popular Disney movie Coco will be played at the Capitol Theater. For more details, visit our website. That is WNKY.com. Halloween may be tomorrow, but it is time to start thinking about Christmas. And with the cooler temps, it's starting to feel like that too. The JCs are also starting to think about the holidays as they announce the Grand Marshal of this year's Christmas parade. News 40 reporter Tucker Covey has more details.
Nashville-based musician Trevor Martin has been selected as the Grand Marshal for the JC's parade in Bowling Green. A native of BG, he is excited to be home for the parade for the first time in a while.
It's an honor to be asked to be the Grand Marshal, and so I'm really excited to be there. I love Christmas time, and it's just the best place to spend is in your hometown.
The decision to choose Trevor was a no-brainer for parade chairman Mary John Carmen, who thinks his recent accomplishments in music are noteworthy.
We just felt like he was someone we wanted to recognize for the things that he's doing, and I just feel certain he's going to be someone that we're going to all say, oh, we knew him when.
The JC's Parade still has openings available, and people and businesses are encouraged to reach out about participating.
If anyone wants to be in the parade, we are still accepting entry forms, and we would love to have you all join Trevor and everyone else that's going to be in the parade. And so there's still time to do it. You just go to SokiFair.org and click on the Christmas Parade tab, and there's an entry form, and the deadline for entry is November 15th.
In Bowling Green, because local matters, Tucker Covey, WNKY News 40.
All right, Tucker. Well, a local 17-year-old just got a big-time award. The Josie Music Awards is an association that celebrates independent artists, and a Hart County native just grabbed an award for herself. News 40's Michael Ridgway has more on the story.
Yeah, the first place I ever sung publicly was in this gym, so it's really cool to kind of be back here. I mean, I've sung in talent shows, I've done shows, obviously, but I think, yeah, the first place I sung was in here.
A lot of times, no. She sits in her bedroom, writes. She'll stay up all hours of the night writing, and a lot of times we don't get to hear it until it's done, so we can't sing, we can't play instruments. She just, anything she picks up, she teaches herself how to do it, so.
She has a lot of talent that I wish I could draw. I wish that I could write songs. I can sing a little bit, but I can't sing like her. So she's started getting on my radar then as a kid, like, you know, she has some talent.
I was excited because I got to go up on the stage and I got to be in the circle for the Grand Ole Opry, which, if you know anything like the backstory of that, the circle is super important. I mean, everybody stood there. Every country music person has stood there. Dolly Parton, Taylor Swift, who I personally really like. So many famous country music artists have stood there. So it was really cool to be like, oh, I'm in this spot with them, you know.
And I think it's really cool for our kids to be able to see her doing some cool things, because they could be like, hey, she sat in these desks that we're at now. You know, she walked the same halls that we're walking now. And so that dream doesn't seem as far away, if that makes sense.
This is like really basic, but probably just do all that you can, because, you know, you might get an opportunity and then you might be like, oh, well, no, I might do that next week. And then you realize that the opportunities are already like past you up. So I would just say when you get an opportunity, take it.
You know, I tell mine all the time, life's short, enjoy it. You know, anything your kid wants to do, support them, you know, 110%. Let them live their dream. If they don't make it, you know, they can try something different. But never discourage them on, you know, something they look forward to doing.
In Hart County, because local talent matters, Michael Ridgway, WNKY News 40.
All right, Michael, we'll get to more news in just a bit, but first I want to check back in with Weather Chief Chris Allen on this cold Monday.
Yeah, and could we just keep hearing her sing? I mean, that would be great. Put her on The Voice. That would be awesome, maybe, if she could get there. You don't want to hear me sing. It's just no good. I'm telling you. Right now, look at this. Temperatures in the 40s. It's going to be this way for the next couple of days. Temperatures running about 20 degrees colder than what we should be, which is 66. We're going to get back there, but it's going to take into the weekend and the beginning of next week before we get there, as temperatures will be running way below average for this time of the year. More on your 7-day forecast coming up, but now I'm going to pitch it over to Maxwell with a preview of sports.
Only if it was baseball season, Chris. But listen, we have plenty of sports to cover when it comes down to tonight. WNKY women's hoops are celebrating Halloween in a unique way. Find out how you can get in on some Hilltopper Halloween action. Plus, we have some state volleyball tournament action happening as well in Logan County. You won't want to miss all the action for the Cougars. That's coming up in sports, Morgan.
All right, Maxwell, in health news now. More than 37 million people are living with diabetes in the U.S. It's a chronic disease that affects how your body turns food into energy, and it can cause severe damage to a person's body. Tonight, 5 ways to help prevent health problems from diabetes. It's a common disease, but millions of Americans may not even know they have diabetes, even though early detection is critical.
As soon as you can have the diagnosis made, the sooner the proper treatment can begin.
Diabetes can damage the eyes, kidneys, nerves, and heart.
If you have high blood glucose, you're more likely to have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And those 3 factors, either independently and certainly working together, can damage the small vessels in our bodies.
You can prevent diabetes-related health problems by taking charge of your health. That includes adopting healthy lifestyle habits, like a sensible diet, physical activity, and getting adequate sleep is also important, as is managing stress and taking medicines on time.
Smoking also has a detrimental effect on your small blood vessels. And so, especially with people with diabetes, we want to suggest that they try to stop smoking.
Experts say small health changes over time can make a big difference and may not be as overwhelming.
You could begin to make choices that you are more likely to stick to.
The CDC's National Diabetes Statistics Report also estimates that around 96 million adults in the U.S. have prediabetes. That's when blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not high enough to be diagnosed as type 2 diabetes. You can talk to a doctor about getting your blood sugar tested, especially if you are overweight, 45 years of age or over, or have a close relative with type 2 diabetes. Well, the Biden administration is urging schools to keep medication on hand that can reverse opioid overdoses. In a letter to educators today, White House officials said every school across the U.S. should stock naloxone nasal spray. It's also known as Narcan. Faculty and students should also be trained on how to use it. This comes amid a nationwide rise in overdose deaths among adolescents. Over the past 2 decades, more than 5,000 children and teens have died from overdoses involving fentanyl. Well, still to come on News 40 at 10, as the Israel-Hamas war continues to fuel the rise of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia around the world, the Biden administration is announcing new steps to fight rising hate crimes on college campuses. More on that in just a bit, but first, Weather Chief Chris Allen is back with a full look at our cold forecast. That's coming up next.
Name a food you might make edible underwear out of. Salmon. Teriyaki.
Sharing the fun. Weeknights at 5 and 6:30 on CBS 40.
I'm Ashley Wilson. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on News 40 Sunrise. Find out what's going on at the Soki Ice Rink, plus see what delicious recipe the Pie Queen of Bowling Green has for us in this week's Pie Queen's Pantry. These stories and more only on News 40 Sunrise.
My opponent's campaign is built on attacks and lies. But you know me, and you know it isn't true. We've been through a lot together, and now we're building the Commonwealth we've always dreamed of. We're a leader in economic growth, tens of thousands of new jobs, our lowest unemployment rate ever, delivering on major infrastructure projects and bringing high-speed internet everywhere. We're building a bright future here for all of our families.
Kentucky's Attorney General should protect our kids.
But as a prosecutor, Russell Coleman gave sweetheart plea deals to dangerous sex offenders. One criminal Coleman faced sexually abused an unconscious child, created child pornography, and got a plea deal for less than the minimum sentence. In case after case, judges overruled Coleman's deals as too soft on predators. Stop Coleman. Protect Kentucky's kids.
During the COVID pandemic, I fought against Washington's unconstitutional assault on our rights. In Kentucky, Daniel Cameron did the same. When Andy Beshear shut down our places of worship, Cameron led the fight to reopen churches, taking Governor Beshear to court, and Cameron won and ensured that you had the right to worship freely. That's why I'm voting for Daniel Cameron, because no matter the fight, Cameron will safeguard your rights.
Protect Freedom PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
We're back with Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris, what a chilly day out there it was.
Yes, and we needed the rain. That was nice to have.
Right.
There were some places that picked up over an inch of rain. We needed that too. But we said, after the rain, here comes the cold.
Right.
And now, just in time for trick-or-treating. Woo, it's going to be so cold tomorrow night. Tonight, starting, is going to be the first night for all of this. 53. You say, when did that happen? Well, it was 1 o'clock this morning when we hit the high temperature for the day. Ever since then, we've been going down. Current temperature is 42, so that so far is acting as our low temperature for the day. Normal, 66 and 43, so you can see how far off the high temperature, but the low about where we should be for this time of the year. But it's going to go down even more than that for tonight. Right now, it's 37 at the airport. The winds are calm, 92% humidity. The dew point at 35, kind of giving us an indication just how dry the atmosphere is becoming now, and a rising barometer at 30.23 as high pressure begins to take over. Here's a look at current temperatures now. We've got 30s all over the place. So some of you are already at freezing, which is like Litchfield at 32. That's the freezing mark. A little bit warmer out to the east, while out to the west, we've got almost freezing. 33 at the Mesonet site there in Woodbury, just outside of Morgantown. And here are the dew points, and they're falling into the 20s as expected. And because of that and the drier air taking over after the front, we're likely going to see those upper 20s for overnight lows tonight. Below freezing temperatures, cold enough for the first hard freeze of this season. And it's been, I traced it back, March 21st was the last time that we had temperatures in the 20s for overnight lows. Here's the way it looks right now with the clearing line already through the Bowling Green area. There may be a little bit of patchy fog in a couple of spots, but overall, westerly winds will start to take over. Here comes a weak frontal boundary that is going to slip by tomorrow afternoon and evening. About the time the kids go trick-or-treating, it's only going to produce a line of clouds to the north of us, some sprinkles, and there could even be a flurry or two that pops up mainly north of the Bowling Green area. They're thinking the Weather Service more likely around the Ohio River, maybe Metro Louisville could see some of that, and up toward Indianapolis. I don't think we'll see much of it here. And then tomorrow night, get ready for another chilly one as high pressure takes over and plunges us back down into the 20s. What about the trick-or-treat preview? Cold treats, about 42 degrees, and this is as most of you are going out tomorrow evening around dusk to go trick-or-treating. Yeah, but it's going to get down into the 30s and 20s for sure. So tonight, we're going to go 27 for the overnight low, freeze warning into effect, clearing and cold. And then as we go through the next several days, it's still going to be cold. It's not going to warm up really until we get into Thursday and Friday, and the upcoming weekend will be back in the 60s, where we should be for this time of the year. There's more News 40 at 10 coming up. Stay with us.
The Sonic 2 for $7 deal lets you choose from the Sonic cheeseburger, chicken sandwich, or foot-long chili cheese coney. Any two for $7. Because that friend that says they only want one bite never just wants one bite. Sonic 2 for $7 deal.
This is the all-new Grand Highlander.
Toyota took the best-selling Highlander and made it bigger, more powerful, and more fuel efficient.
With your choice of 3 different powertrains, including the 362 horsepower Hybrid Max.
The interior design is so tech-focused, I'm in total control.
And you gotta love the 12.3-inch touchscreen.
The big news is right back here with over 20 cubic feet of cargo space.
Behind a full-size third row.
Step up to something grand.
Toyota, let's go places.
There's nothing quite as cozy and comfortable as a recliner from Ford's, like this power recliner in top grain leather with cup holders, phone charger, and lumbar support for only $8.99. Or this leather swivel glider for only $6.99. Now at Ford's Furniture.
Former President Donald Trump is endorsing Attorney General Daniel Cameron in his run for governor of Kentucky.
Mr. President, I hope you can tell that Kentucky is Trump country.
I'm the only candidate endorsed by President Trump and the only candidate who stood up to Joe Biden. I fought the Biden agenda in court to defend Kentucky. Andy Beshear, he never will. As governor, I'll put Kentucky first, even when it's hard.
Hey, I'm Elias Gomez, and 3 things you're going to learn about me this week are tropical, hot rods, and country music.
Catch us this week on Marquee Backstage.
Right now, Sonic's small hand mix shakes are $1.99 all day. It sells itself, so I'll just list flavors in my sexy voice.
Chocolate, strawberry, peanut butter.
$1.99 small classic shakes all day at Sonic.
President Biden is taking new steps to try to ensure that new artificial intelligence programs do not pose new risks to Americans. But the president is limited in what he can do without help from Congress. Skylar Henry has more details from the White House.
Executive order, safe, secure, and trustworthy development of the use of artificial intelligence.
President Biden signed an executive order Monday designed to strengthen protections for Americans as the use of artificial intelligence continues to grow.
One thing is clear. To realize the promise of AI and avoid the risk, we need to govern this technology.
Among the features in the order is a requirement that some AI developers perform safety tests on their systems and share the results of those tests with the government before they're deployed. It also creates an advanced cybersecurity program to detect vulnerabilities in software systems and a national security memo on the military's use of AI, as well as how adversaries are using the technology.
I'm directing the Department of Defense and the Department of Homeland Security, both of them, to develop game-changing cyber protections that will make our computers and our critical infrastructure more secure than it is today.
President Biden has been working with world leaders to establish global standards for AI's use and to counter AI programs being developed and deployed by China.
The order is about making sure that AI systems can earn the American people's trust, the people's trust around the world.
The executive order also urges Congress to pass data privacy legislation to protect all Americans, especially kids. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Staying on the topic, the rise of hate both here and around the world. The Israel-Hamas war is sparking an increase in anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Gabe Gutierrez has more.
Tonight, the U.S. is condemning this pro-Palestinian mob that stormed an airport in Russia looking for Jews. Hundreds of men, some carrying banners with anti-Semitic slogans, rushed onto the tarmac, searching for Israeli passengers. Around the world, demonstrations calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. In Pakistan, some protesters burned Israeli and American flags.
How concerned is the White House that these demonstrations will spiral out of control?
As you know, we believe in the right of peaceful protest. Nobody wants to see peaceful protest turn violent or turn dangerous.
In the U.S., the Biden administration is announcing new steps to fight anti-Semitism and Islamophobia on college campuses, including federal agencies improving coordination between campus law enforcement and state and local counterparts. At Columbia University,
there are Jewish students who do not feel physically safe on campus.
At Cornell, police are guarding the Center for Jewish Living after the university says a series of horrendous anti-Semitic messages threatening violence were posted online. Junior Molly Goldstein is the center's president. What's the sense of fear like on campus right now?
I would say all students are absolutely terrified. People don't know what to do with themselves and whether they should stay or leave campus.
The Anti-Defamation League reports since the war began, anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. are up nearly 400% from the same period last year. As the man accused of stabbing a 6-year-old Palestinian-American boy to death near Chicago pleaded not guilty today, Muslim leaders are reporting an uptick in Islamophobia nationwide, with the Council on American Islamic Relations citing nearly 800 complaints this month. Incidents like this one at American University, where a Palestinian IT specialist says someone slid a note under his door threatening, "Go back to where you came from. You might get lucky with a missile and meet your Allah sooner."
This whole eerie feeling just took over. My heart sank.
As the White House tries to get a grip on rising displays of hate, today the Justice Department announced charges against a Nevada man who's now accused of threatening to exterminate a U.S. senator for supporting Israel.
Well, stay with us. News 40's Maxwell Trink is back with a look at sports right after this.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday is going on now. Get up to 75% off holiday hot buys or get 0% interest for 60 months with no down payment. Only at Ashley.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill.
As Kentucky families struggled, Joe Biden brags.
Bidenomics is working.
Andy Beshear agrees. Beshear backed Biden's disastrous economic policies. Now he's endorsing Biden for re-election.
This president delivered.
For Andy Beshear, he did, giving $250,000 to fund his agenda.
I want to thank the president.
Beshear's with Biden. Trump backs Daniel Cameron. If you stand with Trump, vote Cameron for governor. Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this ad.
Hey y'all, it's Bree, and don't forget to tune in to the Pie Queen's Pantry this week. We're going to talk about what you can do with that leftover candy so that you can enjoy it more than the kids. See you this week on the Pie Queen.
Just rockin' and rollin', baby.
Come back tomorrow.
We got you all fixed up. Got it all fixed up for you, ma'am.
Let there be light, ma'am.
Looks like she finally called JB.
The competition is on.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Weeknights at 6 on NBC 40.
Feels good to be home. Ashley's Black Friday mattress sale is going on now. Get 0% interest for 60 months on top mattress brands. Plus, get Ashley's price match guarantee on all mattress purchases. Save $1,000 on Sealy Princeton Queen mattresses only at Ashley.
Welcome into sports. Logan County volleyball team hosted their first round matchup of the state tournament tonight. The Lady Cougars took on the third region champions, the Meade County Lady Waves. The first two sets went back and forth with the Lady Cougars taking both, but things turned up real quick in the third set as Logan County moves on to the next round. They'll be back in action on Friday night at George Rogers Clark High School, facing off against West Jessamine. The tops now, it comes down to volleyball, are coming off a dominant road victory against La Tech, two of them sweeping the Bulldogs in both matches. WKU is currently in first place in the conference with a chance to lock down the #1 seed this weekend. They're hosting FIU this Friday and Saturday. Head coach Travis Hudson had this to say to the fans.
The challenge is levied to the people in this community and on this campus to get out and support this team. You know, we all year, fans stop me all year long wanting to, know how the volleyball team's going to be, and are we going to be able to play for we are playing for a championship in Diddle Arena. And so our kids have done their part, and now it's time for the community to reciprocate.
Let's keep it at Diddle. WNKY Lady Toppers are set to kick off the 2023 season tomorrow night. Lady Toppers will welcome Lane College for a spooky exhibition inside of Diddle Arena. WKU is coming off a Conference USA runner-up season last year. Head coach Greg Collins explains what to expect for tomorrow.
And we're going to have trick or treat. We're going to have all the fraternities and sororities in Diddle. All the other sports teams are going to set up in Diddle. And so you can come trick or treat with your kids in Diddle and then come to ball game. And I have a lot of people that are excited about that. So yes, I feel that excitement.
WKU football is searching for a bounce-back week after dropping back-to-back games against Jacksonville State and then Liberty. The Tops are most recently coming off that loss to the Flames this past week on Tuesday, 42-29. WKU is now hitting the road for UTEP in El Paso. Here's what head coach Tyson Helton had to say about getting back on track.
It'll take everything we have to win this football game, but this is what down the stretch you want to be able to try to go get those big wins on the road if you want to try to make a conference run. So we'll see if we can go get this one.
Louisville Cardinals continue their impressive start to the Jeff Brom era over the weekend. The Cards dominated the Duke Blue Devils 23-0. Shutout victory. Louisville moves to 7-1 on the season, looking for their 8th victory, this time against Virginia Tech. It was a tough weekend in Lexington, though, for the Kentucky Wildcats. The Cats searching for a win out of their bye week, but now it's back-to-back losses. Well, now back-to-back losses after falling to Tennessee 33-27. Kentucky now heads to Starksville in desperate need of an SEC win, taking on Mississippi State next weekend. And finally, the Tennessee Titans picked up a much-needed victory over the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday, thanks to rookie quarterback Will Levis. Former Kentucky Wildcat finished the afternoon with 238 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. DeAndre Hopkins had the big game for the Titans with 4 catches for 128 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here's what Levis had to say after the victory.
I was confident all game. I was really just taking it one play at a time. Just all the other guys doing their jobs was giving me confidence, and knowing that everyone, for the most part, their head was in the right spot, and we were clicking them all 11 of 11. So just was trying to take it one play at a time.
That's sports. We'll be right back.
My opponent's campaign is built on attacks and lies. But you know me, and you know it isn't true. We've been through a lot together. And now, we're building the Commonwealth we've always dreamed of. We're a leader in economic growth, tens of thousands of new jobs, our lowest unemployment rate ever, delivering on major infrastructure projects and bringing high-speed internet everywhere. We're building a bright future here for all of our families.
Football Frenzy is back in South Central Kentucky.
WNKY News 40 is your home for high school football.
The most schools,
the most highlights,
the most coverage.
Catch Football Frenzy Friday nights at 10 on WNKY News 40.
Breast cancer is a leading cause of cancer death among women in the United States. In Kentucky, over 30,000 people will be diagnosed this year. Early detection reduces your risk and increases treatment options. MedCenter Health Diagnostic Imaging offers digital and 3D mammography, ultrasound, and MRI options for early detection. Our 6 locations across South Central Kentucky make it easy for you to schedule your mammogram close to home. Our team cares for people
together. Summer skies, they warm up everything. Then fall comes around, and you know it's getting near. Christmas is my favorite time.
Experience so much Christmas the way Santa does.
WNKY News 40 Weather wants you to join our team. Become a weather watcher at WNKY.com. You can connect directly with our team. Plus, your photos and videos will be featured in our weathercasts.
Presented by JB Electric.
Hey y'all, it's Bree, and don't forget to tune in to the Pie Queen's Pantry this week. We're going to talk about what you can do with that leftover candy so that you can enjoy it more than the kids. See you this week on the Pie Queen.
WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
Welcome back. So we need to pull out all the coats tomorrow for trick-or-treating.
Yeah, I know. You're going to have to wear a coat over your costume.
Oh, I hate that.
Unless you do the long handle underwear.
You know,
thing.
like one of those Hulk costumes with the giant muscles. That probably would work. It probably would.
I'll pump you up. All right, here's a look at the forecast. After tonight's 27, we only go 47 tomorrow, then down to 25 tomorrow night. Trick-or-treaters, it'll be about 40, upper 30s by the time you go out.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Thank you at home for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.